Ethan had seen many broken ships in deep space, but this one felt different. The smuggler vessel drifted silently near a dead asteroid belt. Its lights were off. No escape pods, no signal, just cold metal turning slowly in the dark. Ethan's small cargo ship moved closer, scanners low, heart uneasy. Something about the silence felt heavy, like space itself was holding its breath. Galactic law said he should report and move on. Smuggler ships were dangerous. Not his problem, but then. The scanner picked up a weak life sign, very small. Ethan frowned and docked anyway. Inside, the ship smelled of burnt wires and fear. The halls were narrow. Scratch marks covered the walls, small ones like claws or tiny hands. Ethan followed the signal to the cargo bay. Crates were stacked high, sealed tight. Most were empty. One crate, near the back, was shaking. Slowly. Ethan knelt and opened it. Inside sat a tiny alien girl. She was no taller than his knee. Her skin was pale blue, almost glowing in the dark. Her eyes were too big for her face, filled with fear. She wore a thin, torn cloth and nothing else. Her small hands were wrapped around her legs, pulling them close to her chest. She flinched when the light touched her. Ethan froze. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said softly. The girl stared at him. She did not move. Her body shook like she was cold, even though the ship was warm. Ethan slowly took out a water pack and placed it on the floor, then stepped back. Minutes passed. Finally, she reached for it with shaking hands and drank, slowly, carefully, like she was afraid it might disappear. Ethan felt something twist in his chest. "What's your name?" he asked. She hesitated, then whispered, "Luma." Her voice was so small it almost vanished into the air. "That's a good name," Ethan said. "I'm Ethan." She looked up at him. Her eyes searched his face, not with trust, but with fear. Learned over a long time. Then she asked the question, "Are you going to sell me? Like Papa did?" The words hit Ethan harder than any blast. He forgot how to breathe. The room felt smaller. His hands curled into fists. For a moment, he could not speak. He saw memories flash through his mind, his own sister, long gone, lost. During a border war when no one came to help, he slowly sat down on the floor, bringing himself to her level. "No," he said, his voice breaking. "I'm not going to sell you." Luma did not relax. That hurt even more. "Papa said it was only for a little while," she said quietly. "He said he would come back when he had food again." Ethan closed his eyes. He knew this story. Everyone in space did. Poor worlds. Broken families. Galactic law allowed unregistered alien minors to be sold as labor assets. Legal. Clean. Cold. Monsters wearing rules. Did he come back? Ethan asked, though he already knew the answer. Luma shook her head. "He cried when he left," she said. "Oh, I thought that meant he loved me." Ethan turned away so she would not see the tears in his eyes. Warning alarms sounded from his ship. Incoming patrol. Galactic enforcers. They had tracked the smuggler ship. And now they would track him. Ethan stood up fast. "We have to go," he said. Luma's eyes widened. She backed into the crate again, panic filling her face. "Are they the buyers?" she asked. "No," Ethan said quickly. "They're worse." He reached out his hand. She stared at it like it was a trap. Another alarm. Closer now. Ethan made a choice. He gently lifted Luma into his arms. She was light. Too light. She trembled but did not fight. "I promise you something," he said as he ran back to his ship. "No one will ever sell you again." The patrol ships appeared on his screen as he launched away from the smuggler vessel. Orders flashed in red. "Stop. Identify. Surrender cargo." Ethan pushed the engines harder. Behind him, the galaxy's laws chased him. In his arms, a tiny alien girl held on, not knowing if promises were real. But for the first time since she was sold, someone was crying for her, and that changed everything. Ethan did not slow down until the stars, stretched into long white lines and the patrol ships, vanished from his screen. Only then did he breathe. His cargo ship drifted into the shadow of a silent moon, engines cooling, alarms finally quiet. The cockpit lights dimmed, casting soft blue shadows across the metal walls. Ethan leaned back in his seat, hands shaking. He had broken the law, not by accident. By choice. Behind him, Luma sat curled on the floor, wrapped in an emergency blanket. Her eyes followed every sound, every movement. She still looked ready to run. Ethan turned slowly so he would not scare her. "You're safe for now," he said. Luma did not answer. She clutched the blanket tighter around her small body. Ethan stood and moved toward the ship's small food unit. He activated it and waited as a warm nutrient bar slid out. He broke it in half and placed one piece near her, then stepped back. Again, she stared at it for a long time. "Is it allowed?" She asked softly. The question confused him. Is what allowed? "To eat without working," she said. Ethan felt a sharp pain in his chest. "Yes," he said firmly. "It's allowed." She picked up the food, sniffed it, then took tiny bites. Her shoulders slowly lowered as she ate. Not relaxed, but less afraid. Ethan sat across from her on the floor. "Why were you in a crate?" he asked gently. Luma swallowed. "That's where children go," she said. "If we make noise, they lock it." His jaw tightened. "Who told you that?" "Everyone," she replied. "The men, the buyers, the stations." Stations. That word echoed in his mind. Space stations were meant to be safe, neutral. But he knew the truth. Many turned a blind eye. As long as the paperwork was correct, they did not care what happened inside the crates. Ethan checked his console. Fuel was low, hull damage minor, but growing. He needed repairs. A station. His stomach twisted. Luma watched him read the screen. "Are we going to a market?" she asked. "No," he said quickly. "We're going somewhere else." "Somewhere." "With cages?" she whispered. He met her eyes. "Never again." She studied his face, searching for lies. She must have seen many before. Slowly she nodded, but fear still lived behind her eyes. The ship shook slightly as debris struck the hull. Ethan looked at the map again. One nearby station sat on the edge of human-controlled space, old, quiet, poorly monitored by the enforcers. It was still a risk. A soft sound came from Luma. She was rubbing her wrist. "Does it hurt?" Ethan asked. She turned her arm, showing a dark metal band locked around it. Faded numbers glowed on its surface. A tracking cuff. Ethan's blood went cold. "They said it helps find me if I get lost." Luma said. He knew better. That cuff could broadcast her location to any authorized receiver. Smugglers. Enforcers. Anyone. Ethan rushed to his tool locker. "We need to remove that." "Am I allowed?" she asked again. "Yes," he sighed. "You're allowed." The words felt like a promise and a rebellion at the same time. He worked carefully, sweat forming on his brow. One wrong move could shock her. Luma winced but stayed still. She did not scream. She was used to pain. Finally, the cuff fell to the floor with a dull sound. Luma stared at her free wrist. She touched it like she did not believe it was real. "I don't belong to anyone now?" she asked. Ethan swallowed. "You belong to yourself." The ship's console beeped. Incoming message. Galactic Authority. He ignored it. Another message followed. Stronger signal. Priority code. Ethan knew what it meant. They had flagged his ship, his name, his route. He was no longer just a pilot. He was a criminal. Luma sensed the change. "Are they coming?" she asked. "Yes," Ethan said honestly. "But not yet." She moved closer to him without thinking, her small hand gripping his sleeve. That simple act nearly broke him. "I don't want another papa," she whispered. "I just want to stay." Ethan looked down at her. He had no plan. No safety, no protection. Under the law, but he had a choice. You can stay, he said. As long as you want. Outside the ship, distant stars burned cold and uncaring. Laws and credits ruled the galaxy. Inside, a human had chosen a child over everything else, and the galaxy would not forgive him for it. The first shot hit the edge of Ethan's shield and sent the ship spinning. Warning lights exploded across the cockpit. Hold on, Ethan said, gripping the controls as the ship shook. Behind him, Luma cried out, her small body thrown sideways. Ethan slammed the stabilizers and forced the ship back into line. Outside the window, 3 galactic enforcer fighters cut through space like sharp blades. Fast and silent. Unidentified human vessel. A cold voice echoed through the ship. Power down immediately. You are in possession of illegal cargo. Evans? Jaw tightened. She's not cargo. He muttered. He pushed the engines harder. The stars stretched again as the ship surged forward, but his fuel was dropping fast. The old engines screamed in protest. He glanced at the map. One route remained straight into the Shard Belt, a dense field of broken asteroids and dead metal where scanners failed. No sane pilot flew there. Ethan turned the ship sharply. The enforcers followed without hesitation. Inside the ship, Luma crawled toward him, fear written across her face. Is it my fault? She asked. If I wasn't here, would they stop? Ethan looked at her for a split second. No, he said firmly. This is not your fault. Not now, not ever. Another blast rocked the ship. A panel burst open, sparks raining down. Smoke filled the air. Ethan flew blind, weaving between massive rocks spinning slowly through space. One wrong move would tear the ship apart. The enforcer fighters stayed close, precise and relentless. They always catch us, Luma whispered. That's what the men said. No one escapes. Ethan's hands shook, but his eyes stayed focused. They don't know humans, he said. He cut power suddenly. The ship went dark. Luma screamed as the silence swallowed them. Gravity failed for a moment, and they floated. Outside, the enforcer fighters shot past. Unable to slow down in time, Ethan waited. 5 seconds. 10. Then he restarted the engines at low output and slid the ship into the shadow of a massive asteroid. Its surface scarred and black. The fighters circled, confused. Their scanners searched empty space. One by one. They pulled back. Ethan did not move until their signals faded. Only then did he exhale. Luma stared at him, eyes wide. You didn't run, she said. You hid. Sometimes that's smarter, Ethan replied. But relief did not last. The ship shuddered again, harder this time. A deep groan echoed through the hull. Structural failure. Ethan checked the damage. Report. A crack ran along the lower section of the ship. Life support would fail within hours. They were trapped. Luma hugged her knees, rocking slightly. When ships break, she said quietly, people don't come back. Ethan knelt in front of her. This one will. She looked at him like she wanted to believe but was afraid to hope. I heard them talk, she said. They said my kind is dangerous, that we ruin balance. Ethan frowned. Who said that? The buyers, she replied. They said we are worth more when we're small. A chill ran through him. What do you mean? Luma hesitated, then lifted her hand. The faint glow under her skin pulsed softly, like light behind glass. When my mother was alive, she said our bodies carry something special, something that helps worlds heal. Ethan's heart pounded. He had heard rumors. Rare species, living genetic keys. Used to repair dying planets, ecosystems, even stars. That kind of power made beings valuable. Too valuable. That's why they wanted you, he said. She nodded. They said children work best. We haven't learned to block it yet. Ethan sat back, shock filling him. The galaxy wasn't just cruel, it was hungry. A warning beep interrupted them. Long-range scan detected. Different. Signal.human. Ethan single quotes, as eyes widened. A small fleet marker appeared on the screen. Old-style human. Ships. Patrol class. Independent. Luma saw his face change. Is that bad? She asked. No, Ethan said slowly. That might be the first good thing that's happened. The human ships hailed him. Their signal was calm, steady. This is Human Defense Vessel Orion's Watch, a voice said. We detected enforcer activity in this sector. Identify yourself. Ethan swallowed. This is Ethan Hawley, he replied. Civilian pilot. I have a child on board. There was a pause. Then the voice returned, colder now but focused. Is the child willing to be here? Ethan looked at Luma. She stepped closer and said, clear and strong, yes. The silence that followed felt heavy. Finally, the voice spoke again. Then hold position, it said. You are under human protection. Luma looked up at Ethan, confused. What does that mean? She asked. Ethan felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. It means, he said softly, you're not alone anymore. The human ships moved into position around Ethan's damaged vessel, forming a quiet wall of steel and light. For the first time since the chase began, the space outside did not feel like a threat. Ethan guided his ship closer to the largest human patrol craft. Its hull was scratched and old, but solid. A docking beam locked on, steady and strong. The moment the ships connected, Ethan felt his knees weaken. They had survived. Luma watched through the window, her fingers pressed against the glass. They don't look angry, she said. No, Ethan replied. Humans usually look calm before they decide something important. The airlock hissed open. 2 human officers stepped inside. Their movements were slow, careful, non-threatening. One was tall with gray hair and tired eyes. The other was younger, scanning the ship for danger. The older one spoke first. I'm Commander Reyes. Ethan nodded. Ethan Hawley. Reyes's gaze dropped to Luma. He crouched down so he was not towering over her. Double quotes. Hello, he said gently. Do you feel safe here? Luma glanced at Ethan, then back at Reyes. He didn't sell me, she said. Reyes closed his eyes for a brief second. That's good, he said. That matters. The officers escorted them onto the human ship. The halls were clean but simple. No cages, no chains. No armed guards watching every step. Luma noticed everything. Why are there no locks on the doors? She asked. Because people here aren't prisoners, Ethan said. Her steps slowed, like her body was not used to walking freely. They were taken to a medical bay. A human doctor scanned Luma carefully, explaining every action before doing it. Luma stayed tense, but she did not cry. When the scan ended, the doctor's expression changed. Commander, she said quietly, we need to talk. Ethan felt his stomach drop. They moved to a private room. Luma stayed with a nurse, clutching a warm cup and staring at the walls like they might vanish. The doctor activated a holodisplay. Strange symbols and genetic patterns filled the air. She's a Lumari, the doctor said. A protected species. Reyes's jaw tightened. Protected how? In theory, the doctor replied. In practice, ignored. She pointed at the display. Their biology releases stabilizing energy into damaged ecosystems. On a small scale, it can heal soil, water, even air. On a larger scale, entire planets. Ethan felt cold. That's why they sell the children, he said. Yes, the doctor replied. Children produce stronger output. Adults learn to control it. Reyes slammed his fist softly against the table. So the galaxy harvests them young. Silence filled the room. What happens if the enforcers take her back? Ethan asked. Doctor didn't answer right away. They will move her, she said finally. Erase records, cell access. She won't survive long. Ethan stood up. Then don't let them take her. Reyes looked at him, eyes sharp. That means war with the law. The law is wrong, Ethan replied. Reyes studied him for a long moment. Bring the child, the commander said. Luma entered slowly. She sensed the weight in the room. Am I in trouble? She asked. Reyes knelt in front of her again. No, he said. But we need to ask you something very important. Luma. Nodded. Double quotes. Do you want to go back to the people who sold you? Reyes asked. Her answer came without pause. No. Do you want to stay with Ethan? She looked up at him. Yes. Reyes exhaled. That's enough for me. An alarm suddenly echoed through the ship. Incoming transmission. Galactic Authority. Seal. The screen lit up, showing a tall alien official with silver eyes. Human commander, the official said. You are harboring illegal biological property. Release it immediately. Luma shrank back. Reyes stood tall. She is not property. She is a child under human protection. You have no jurisdiction, the official snapped. Reyes tapped. A control. The room filled with holographic feeds, markets, cages, records of sold children, faces of crying minors across species. We do, Reyes said coldly. And so does the entire galaxy now. The feed began broadcasting. Everywhere. Ethan stared as the truth spilled out. Unstoppable. The official's face twisted in anger. You will regret this. Reyes met his gaze. We already regret waiting so long. The transmission cut. Luma looked around confused. Did I do something bad? She asked. Ethan knelt and held her gently. No, he said. You just told the truth. Outside the ship, human vessels shifted into battle formation. The galaxy had seen the crime, and it could never unsee it again. The broadcast spread faster than any weapon ever could, across trade hubs, private stations, luxury worlds, and forgotten mining colonies. Screens flickered to life. Faces froze. Conversations stopped. Pilots slowed their ships. For the first time, the galaxy was forced to look at what it had allowed for generations. Children in crates. Names replaced by numbers. Laws written to protect profit instead of life. On the human command ship, silence filled the bridge as message after message poured in. Protests, threats, panic, denial. Commander Reyes stood still, hands behind his back. They're calling for your arrest, an officer said. Multiple systems, Reyes nodded. Expected. Another officer turned from the console. But others are asking questions. A lot of them. That was new. Ethan sat in aside. Room with Luma. She was drawing on a small screen tablet a nurse had given her. Simple shapes, stars, a small figure holding a bigger hand. Are they angry? She asked without looking up. Yes, Ethan answered. Some of them. Because of me? Because of what they did, he said gently. She thought about that. They don't like being seen. No, Ethan said. They don't. The door opened. Reyes stepped inside. They're coming, he said. Ethan stood. Enforcers? Yes, and more than that. Reyes looked at Luma. Political escorts. Witness ships. They want this quiet. Luma hugged the tablet to her chest. Will they take me? Reyes knelt. Not without the galaxy watching. The human fleet shifted position, forming a wider defensive ring. Ships aligned not for attack, but for protection. Their weapons stayed cold. Their shields did not. That alone sent a message, a new transmission. Request came in. Open channel. The face that appeared was unfamiliar. An elder alien woman, skin marked with age lines, eyes sharp and tired. I speak for the Cathari Union, she said. We did not know that children were treated like this. Reyes did not reply immediately. You knew, he said finally. You chose not to ask. The elder alien closed her eyes. That may be true. Her image was replaced by another, then another. Different species, different voices. All saying similar things. We didn't know that it wasn't our system, the law. Allowed it. Ethan listened, anger rising. Luma watched quietly. Then one voice cut through them all. A younger alien male, trembling with emotion. My sister was sold, he said. I was told it was legal. I believed them. His eyes filled with tears. I was wrong. The channel went silent. That was when everything changed. Crowds began forming on stations. Not riots, gatherings. Holding images of children, demanding answers. Asking why, enforcer ships arrived at the edge of the human fleet. Their leader hailed Reyes. You are ordered to stand down, the enforcer said. Release the asset. Reyes's reply was calm. Negative. You are violating galactic order. No, Reyes said. We are restoring it. Weapons powered up on both sides. Luma felt the tension and grabbed Ethan's hand. Are they going to hurt you? Ethan knelt. No matter what happens. He said, I will not let them take you. She looked into his eyes. I believe you. That belief felt heavier than any oath. Suddenly, a new signal appeared on the tactical display. Another fleet. Then another. Ships bearing different markings. Civilian defense groups. Old alliances. Independent worlds. Even some enforcer captains. Refusing orders. The galaxy was choosing. Reyes straightened. They can't stop this now, he said quietly. The enforcer commander's voice cracked. You are breaking centuries of balance. Reyes answered. There was never balance. Only silence. The enforcer ships slowly powered down their weapons. One by one. The order echoed through space. Stand down. Luma felt something warm spread through her chest. The faint glow beneath her skin pulsed softly, brighter than before. Not wild, not painful. Calm. The ship's sensors reacted. Systems stabilized. Minor damage across. Nearby vessels began repairing itself without input. The crew stared in shock. Ethan looked at Luma. What are you doing? She shook her head. Nothing, she said. I just don't feel scared anymore. The doctor entered, stunned. Her energy output just increased, she said. But it's different. It's controlled. Reyes smiled faintly. She's healing, he said. Because she finally feels safe. Outside the ship, the fleets held position. No battle. No explosion. Just a quiet moment where the galaxy realized something important. It had underestimated a child, and it had forgotten what humans do best. They protect, even when the universe tells them not to. The galaxy did not explode into war. It fractured into truth. Across thousands of systems, emergency councils were called. Old laws were dragged into the light, examined for the first time in generations. Data streams flooded public networks, records of child transfers, medical extractions, silent deaths written off as loss of material. There was no hiding. Now on the human command ship, Commander Reyes stood before a circular table filled with holographic figures. Representatives from dozens of species watched him, some angry, some ashamed, some afraid. The trade is suspended, an insectoid delegate said. Temporarily. Reyes leaned forward. Children don't need temporary mercy. The room fell. Silent. Ethan waited in the observation bay with Luma. She sat by the window, watching human ships glide past like slow-moving guardians. Her glow had faded, but the calm remained. Why is it quiet? She asked. Because people are listening. Ethan said. She nodded, as if that made sense. A medical alert chimed softly. The doctor approached, concern on her face. Luma needs rest, she said. Her energy levels are stabilizing, but this much attention is not good for her. Reyes entered behind her. Agreed, he said, which is why we're moving her. Ethan stiffened. Where? Somewhere no law can touch her, Reyes replied. Human sanctuary space, off record. protected. Luma looked between them. Will I be alone? Ethan's answer was instant. No, Reyes studied him. You understand what that means. You will never fly free space again. You will always be watched. Ethan did not hesitate. I already am. Reyes nodded. Then it's decided. Before they could move, the ship shook slightly. Another transmission forced its way through. Priority. The Galactic Authority returned. This time, the face on the screen was different, older, heavier, worn down by years of power. You have made your point, the official said. The trade will end. The children will be reclassified. Reyes crossed his arms. That's not enough. They will be relocated, the official continued. Placed under supervision, studied safely. Luma's fingers tightened around Ethan's sleeve. No cages, she whispered. Ethan looked up. She says no, the official sighed. You don't understand. Her kind is too powerful to be free. Reyes's voice sharpened. Power does not remove personhood. The official's eyes hardened. Then you leave us no choice. The transmission ended. Almost instantly, alerts rang across the ship. Multiple enforcer fleets jumping in. Ethan's heart pounded. They're lying, he said. They never planned to stop. Reyes nodded. No, they planned to delay. Human ships began moving, escort patterns shifting. This time, weapons did not stay cold. Luma stood up suddenly. The glow returned. Stronger. Lights flickered. Consoles hummed. And weapons did not stay cold. Luma stood up suddenly. The glow returned. Stronger. Lights flickered. Consoles hummed. The very air felt warmer. Luma, the doctor said softly, stepping closer. Easy. I don't want them to fight. Luma said, I don't want anyone to get hurt because of me. Ethan knelt in front of her. None of this is your fault. She placed her small hand on his chest. When I feel scared, she said, things break. When I feel safe. The ship's damage reports updated in real time. Hull fractures sealed. Power levels stabilized. Across the human fleet. Similar reports came in. Minor damage repaired. Systems synchronized. Shields strengthened without added energy. Reyes stared in awe. She's stabilizing everything around her. No, the doctor said slowly. She's responding to intent. The enforcer fleets hesitated. Their ships, affected by the same field, experienced systems locking into balance. Weapons failed to arm. Engines stalled. Confusion spread. They can't fire, an officer said. Their systems won't let them. Luma's glow softened. I don't want to hurt them, she whispered. I just want them to stop. And they did. One by one, enforcer ships powered down. Drifting helplessly, the galaxy watched again, not a human victory. A child's refusal to be used. Reyes opened a channel. To all fleets. This ends now, he said. Stand down or be remembered. No one challenged him. The enforcer fleets withdrew, broken without a single shot. Silence returned. Ethan lifted Luma into his arms. She was shaking, exhausted. Did I do bad? She asked weakly. He pressed his forehead to hers. You saved everyone. Her eyes closed. For the first time in her life she slept without fear. And across the galaxy, leaders realized something terrifying. They had built an empire on children, and one small girl had just torn it apart, without hate, without violence, without asking permission. The stars over sanctuary space burned softly, untouched by trade routes or patrol lines. Human sanctuary worlds were not marked on public maps. They existed between borders, hidden in calm systems where no one came unless invited. Ethan's ship, now repaired and quiet, drifted toward a small green-blue planet wrapped in gentle clouds. Luma stood at the window, her reflection glowing faintly in the glass. Is this where children live? She asked. Yes, Ethan said. Children who are safe. The ship descended through the atmosphere, sunlight warming the hull. Below them stretched open land, forests, water, and simple buildings, no towers. No cages, no walls. When they landed, the ramp lowered slowly. Luma hesitated. Ethan knelt beside her. You don't have to step out until you're ready. She took a breath and stepped onto the ground. The moment her feet touched the soil, something changed. The grass around her brightened. Leaves lifted as if waking. The air felt clean, alive. Sensors across the area registered improvement in soil and atmosphere within seconds. The scientists watched in silence. She's not fixing the planet, one whispered. She's joining it. Luma smiled for the first time without fear. Over the next days, she explored. Other children played nearby, human, alien, mixed species. No one stared at her. No one asked for papers or numbers. When she spoke, they listened. When she was quiet, they stayed close. Ethan stayed too. He was offered a return to civilian life. A new ship. A cleared record. He refused. I'm not leaving her, he said. The officials understood. Weeks passed. The galaxy changed. The child trade was officially outlawed across major systems. Not quietly, publicly. Monuments were dismantled, markets shut down. Names were restored. It was not perfect, but it was real. One evening, as the sun set low and painted the sky gold, Luma sat beside Ethan near a small lake. Fireflies hovered above the water, glowing softly. Ethan, she said, double quotes, yes. Do I have to go back someday? She asked. To my people? He thought carefully. If you want to. When you're ready, she nodded. I want to learn first. Learn what? How to be big, she said seriously. So no one can make me small again. Ethan smiled. A human legal officer approached, holding a thin data tablet. We need to ask one final question, she said gently. Luma looked up. Am I in trouble? No. The officer replied. We want to know if you choose a guardian. Luma turned to Ethan. Do I get to choose? She asked. Yes, Ethan said, voice tight. She stepped closer and held his hand. I choose him. The officer nodded and recorded the decision. Then it is done, she said. Under human law, you are family. Luma looked confused. What does that mean? Ethan knelt, eyes shining. It means I won't leave. Ever. She studied his face carefully, like she always did when promises were made. Then she asked the question again, not afraid this time. Are you going to sell me? Like Papa? Ethan felt his chest tighten, but he smiled through the tears. No, he said softly. I'm going to raise you. She thought about that. Then she leaned into him and whispered, Then you can be my Papa now. The words broke. Him. Ethan held her as the stars appeared one by one above them, not far beyond sanctuary space. The galaxy still argued. Still healed slowly. Still struggled with the truth. But one thing was certain. Humans had drawn a line, not with fleets, not with laws, but with a single answer to a frightened child. And because of that answer, the galaxy would never be the same again.